Hi everyone and welcome to CT Connect. At the end of last month, Fonterra confirmed the sale of their consumer division, meaning that a large proportion of those funds are going to be distributed to shareholders. Today I'm joined by Callum Malcolm from Craig's Investment Partners and Sarah Miskell, who's our dairy expert here at Campbell Tyson, to talk a little bit more about what that means for our farming clients and our community. Callum, can I start with you? Can you just break this transaction down and help us understand what it means?
Sure, yeah, as been well publicised over the past few weeks, Fonterra has voted unanimously in favour of a sale of the consumer brands part of their business, so Mainland Group. So that's brands such as Anchor and Mainland Cheese. And the sale price is $4.2 billion. And the other counterparty is Lactalis Group, which is a French private business, so one of the largest dairy companies in the world. That is a large transaction that's coming back to Fonterra, and the bulk of those funds will be paid out to Fonterra shareholders sometime next year in the form of a capital distribution.
Wow, so Sarah, what does that mean for our average farmer?
So what's come out is that they're going to pay roughly $2 per Fonterra share back to Fonterra shareholders. So if you think, the average farmer might hold 100,000 Fonterra shares, that's a $200,000 tax-free capital return. And that's due to come early to mid next year. So that's going to be a big cash inflow to all of our Fonterra farming clients. So there's lots of things that farmers could do with that money, and I think the most important thing is actually having a plan, talking to each farmer, talking to their advisors about the different options available and what the implications of those options might be. So some of the conversations I've had with my clients so far are, options like repaying debt, using that money to invest on farm, improving infrastructure or building some new infrastructure. And even, a really good option could be thinking about using that cash for setting themselves up for the future. So some of our best succession, plans and arrangements we've done with our clients have involved, where there's been additional cash coming in, using that cash to invest off farm, which can make that succession process and handing down assets to the next generation that much easier. So yeah, really interesting to see what happens, but there will be implications to all of those things. And probably the other thing that maybe not being considered but should be is we've had a strong couple of dairy farming seasons, which has generated profits, which in turn generates tax. So I guess the other thing is all of our farming clients making sure they are talking to their accountants and advisors around upcoming tax implications and liabilities, and ensuring that they're set up for that as well. So yeah, lots of options, but like I say, the key takeaway I think is making sure that our farming clients are talking to their advisors, their accountants, their banks, and their investment advisors about what the options are and getting themselves really well set up.
And Callum, off-farm investment, obviously great for succession planning, as Sarah's mentioned. What are you seeing in that area?
Yeah, off-farm investment is something that we've been doing for the past 40 odd years at Craig's Investment Partners, and that involves investing in assets that are not correlated to the farm. So that could be listed equities, listed commercial property, alternative assets like private equity, whole range of different assets, and importantly assets that are outside of New Zealand in many cases. So it's a case of having not all your eggs in one basket, so diversification, that's what it's all about when it comes to investing, but not at the expense of long-term returns. So that's what we do. Everybody's situation is different, so we like to just sit down with people, discuss their personal circumstances and ensure we put in place the right plan for them.
Great. Thank you both for your time today. I think the big takeaway that I'm taking from this conversation is that this is potentially going to give our farmers some options, so they can use the funds to strengthen on-farm investment, off-farm investment for succession purposes, debt reduction, and also manage their tax position. Lots of things to think about. If you'd like to chat to either Callum or Sarah, please just feel free to flick me a message and I'd be happy to introduce you. We're here to help.